The member from Windsor West.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Students in Durham, Northern Ontario's Rainbow District, and Peel Region have been without classes for weeks. Over 800,000 elementary students and their families face an uncertain future as educators undertake job action. I'm reminding the Premier of this because it doesn't seem like her government is doing anything to move this process along. Speaker, will the Premier finally acknowledge that the utter failure of contract talks falls at the feet of her government and actually work to bring school boards and education workers together rather than driving them apart?
Premier.
Minister of Education.
Minister of Education.
And it's precisely because we want to bring all the parties together that we actually created the new legislation, because we wanted to have the boards at the table. We wanted to have the union at the table. We wanted to have the government at the table so that all three parties can come together and create a solution. It's precisely because we believe in negotiated solutions that we are still working very, very hard at the table. We have 9 different tables going, and that we're working very, very hard at each of those tables to get collective agreements. And we know it's going to be difficult. We know it's been slow. But we believe that the way to get the issues resolved are at the table. And there's no other way to do this other than negotiating solutions, and we will keep working at that.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Speaker. Again to the Premier. It's this government that implemented the current bargaining legislation. It's this government that cut $250 million in education. Minister, page 230 of your own budget. Maybe you should check your facts. Forced the closure of 88 schools and cut vital special education programs. It's this government's underfunding that put 21 early childhood educator jobs in Windsor and Essex County and 50 educational assistant positions and ECEs in Bruce Grey on the chopping block. Now, this Liberal government is continuing to fail families by dragging their feet in negotiations and blaming everyone else but themselves for the chaos in our schools. Speaker, when will this government finally accept responsibility for throwing our schools into chaos and work with education workers? Keyword is with, to get students back to class.
Question. Thank you, Minister.
And I think we need to go back and look at what happened during the development of our collective bargaining legislation. We actually worked with every one of the unions, with all 4 school board associations, and we worked together to draft that legislation. We went around and around and around. We looked at first drafts and made some changes. We looked at second drafts. We looked at some changes that the NDP suggested and incorporated some suggestions that the NDP made in terms of the collective bargaining legislation. Everybody involved worked together to make that collective bargaining legislation a reality, and we've worked together to decide which are central issues, which are local issues. That was negotiated.
Thank you.
We have minutes of settlement where we've agreed.